Perlan is a museum really explaining the Iceland's landscape. Um, it's a geographical explanation of the landscape. Iceland, it is a land of contrast. It lays at the northern hemisphere, very close to the Arctic Circle, and so it is very, very cold. At the same time, Iceland is a very active volcanic bed, where the volcanoes are erupting all the time and forming new landmass, and it is really, really hot land at below the surface, and above the surface it is very, very cold, and you have ice glaciers forming because of that. So it is truly a land of contrast, and this Perlan museum captures the landscape very, very well with various examples and their showpieces, and it is worth visiting to get an overview of the Iceland before you begin to venture out to see all those beautiful and contrasting places in Iceland. So this is a replica of the ice tunnels you could find in big glaciers. There are a couple of tourist spots where you can go and visit them. They take you by a specially made vehicle. Then you can visit the glacier caves. So these are models of the different types of glaciers. As you can see, this is a Piedmont glacier. This one is just an ice cap with multiple tongues flowing through. This is a model of glaciers breaking down. And this is the Valley Glacier, which carves a very big valley underneath. This is the large screen, interactive screen, where you can point your fingers and select various aspects to learn about the volcanoes and the landscapes and the glaciers and everything. It's a very good exercise to do before you venture out to see the actual glaciers. After spending an hour or so learning about various features, you can go upstairs to the top floor to this enormous glass-domed restaurant for a panoramic view and sumptuous food like this one. And the views are wonderful all around the glass dome. You can see the horizon with the little mountains, and also on the other side you can see the church, the famous Hallgrímskirkja church. And on the other side you see the domestic airport where the flights land and take off, and you can watch them in leisure. It's really a lovely experience to have food and relax over there. After having learnt all the landscapes, now we are ready to venture into the actual Icelandic landscapes. These are glacier caves, as you can see them. They are really, really huge, and you can see how big the slabs are, and they're really nice to look at. The next we want to look at is the various different types of rock formations caused by volcanic lava flow. They tend to kind of form like tongues, or they can or columns, or these are bubbling masses which just frozen in time, where the green moss has grown over them. And here is formed a canyon where jetting rocks on both sides, a river flowing in between it, and the next two landscapes on the way is this volcanic rocks being thrown around violently. The rocks are the size of cars, really, and this must have been a really wild eruption at some point. These are more violent rocky eruptions jetting up from the seabed and forming various structures, and because of overall erosion over a long period of time, and they also take different shapes over millions of years. They are really beautiful to look at. Here, two young couples are taking photo in front of a volcanic cave and more rock formations like hexagonal columns. They are beautiful. Skaftafell Glacier is a Piedmont glacier type. It flows into the flatland and expands into a large tongue area. You can see it very close to the road. The cars getting dwarfed by the size of the glacier. That gives you an idea how big the glacier is. And they are quite beautiful to look at. They flow into the flatlands like this. Here we just went on a glacier walk, and I took some photos very close to the glacier and on top of the glacier. Large rocks laying around, just weaving our way in between. And then now we are on top of the glaciers. You can see the size of the glacier by comparing how small the people are by looking at it. Overall map of Iceland, and you can see there are 4 big ice caps, 1 here, 2, 3, 4. This is the biggest ice mass of Iceland. It's called Vatnajökull Glacier National Park, and they've got multiple tons of glaciers flowing out of it. And as we zoom it, and you can see it better. You can see the tongues are being interrupted. They are the individual glaciers. So that's Jökulsárlón, that's the Skaftafell Glacier, and the Diamond Beach is down here. As we zoom more and more, and you can see the lake coming into view, and from there zoom more. So that is the edge of the glacier. That's where the icebergs break and get into the lakes. And you can see these dark spots. They are the actual icebergs floating around. And this lake drains into the sea through this channel here. So as the water flows, these icebergs get stranded over here for a number of months and eventually manage to pass through one by one through this small channel. So that's the bridge running over it, and you can see the icebergs coming into view. Right, so that's a channel, and that's flows into the sea. Now this is the main sea now. And you can see floating ice masses here. Right. So they get slashed around by the waves. and repeatedly slammed onto the beach. Eventually, they begin to break up into small pieces. Then that results in ice crystals getting washed up into the beach. You can see the small ice crystals over here. Over here, they are the actual diamonds, the so-called diamonds. So that's how diamond beach comes into play. And so yeah, it is fascinating to see the diamond beach from an overall point of view. These are the broken up icebergs. They are small icebergs, and they float around. And they make a beautiful scene. You can get some lovely photos. And birds are all flying all around it, and you can see those couple of seals swimming around as well. And when these icebergs get floated into the sea, they get slashed around by the waves and repeatedly being slammed on the beaches, and eventually get broken up into small pieces. And those small pieces eventually get washed up onto the beach, which is completely black in color because the sand is burnt out volcanic sand, and they kind of look like diamonds, and that's why it's called Diamond Beach. And it is a sight to behold, really. It's so beautiful, and it mesmerizes you to look at it. And you can get some beautiful photos, and you can see people are enjoying the ice, broken up ice pieces, people taking photographs, and it's really lovely to watch.